Salad or Dolly, threw a great party. We all drank Bacardi, it got kinda gnarly. We're light as a feather, we're tougher than leather. Together we're weirder together.
Weirder Together podcast.
Hi, Ben Lee.
Hello, Ione Sky. Welcome to our pod.
Yes, welcome to our pod.
An emotional morning as we're shipping some stuff over from LA. So there was some friends opening storage boxes for us, and very excited about like guitars that are coming and stuff, but got very moved by an oven tray.
Well, a glass pan.
A glass pan that I just remembered how much charred broccoli was done in.
That's right.
In the oven for the kids. I don't know, for some reason that was the thing that got me like feeling particularly nostalgic.
Once we discovered like roasting broccoli, and the kids would like just gobble it up. So we were roasting a lot of broccoli in that pan. And it was also seeing our friend Georgia and our friend Elle helping look through the stuff via FaceTime. And they looked like Georgia, our friend, found a metal detector that we had given one of the kids for a birthday present and was doing metal detecting, and the sun was shining, and it just looked so fun, and so many parties and buckets of like Halloween decorations and just like smoke machines, and we used to have crazy parties.
The good news is that I think Georgia Mac having a metal detector in Silver Lake is really, it's going to unlock a whole new social life for her, possibly too. You know, I think it's going to be a great conversation starter, great opener.
There's a cute British TV show called The Metal Detectorists, or I'm butchering the title, but people must know this show. But it's a really, really sweet, great TV show about metal detectors. It's not a reality show; it's scripted. And Georgia with a metal detector, it'll be like, not Craigslist, but I feel like it'll be a mystery, and she'll solve some things, and she'll find some interesting.
Yeah, there'll be side quests.
Side quests, exactly.
Some excellent side quests in Sydney this week for us. Phoenix Central Park, your first time there.
Whoa.
I mean, what a building, firstly, right?
It kind of reminded me of, not the Gagosian, but...
You mean the Guggenheim?
I mean the Guggenheim. What's the Gagosian? Oh, Gagosian Gallery.
Yeah.
The Guggenheim. And certain gardens, it was just chic. And I'm sorry that I am surprised that Sydney has chic things, because that's my bad. The lighting, the landscape, the building... I guess a wealthy person.
Yeah, so it was built by a philanthropist, and it's an art center and a gallery, and they have all these amazing performances. I was in there once when Sophie Gordy was recording, and then we filmed a little thing in there. And it's so cool that there are still wealthy people who want to support the arts.
Yes.
I mean, that is so it's been something historically really important for the arts to thrive.
And our life is often filled with younger people that we hang out with, and because you're younger than me, and just we happen to have some younger friends, we have older friends, the whole thing, but we just have a lot of young friends. But this Mouseatouille show...
say the name again?
This Mouseatouille show.
Yeah, Mouseatouille.
This Mouseatouille, wonderful, wonderful band. I was like, are we at an Oakwood senior concert, but like really top drawer band? The kids watching it were looked like seniors from high school, and in fact one was a friend of our school kid from her school. But truly, I often look at a crowd and think, am I the oldest one here? Except when I went to see the Pixies and certain bands.
Mouseatouille, though, you may have been the oldest person there. I would have been the second oldest.
I know. And so, and our daughter's friend filmed us watching the show, but they were really great.
Yeah, Mouseatouille, it was there was elements of Pavement and Neutral Milk Hotel and the Arcade Fire and the Mountain Goats. It was that very literate orchestral indie rock vision.
And even though the lead singer, again, the band looked to be 18 years old, he was giving the LCD Sound System lead singer and the Pixies lead singer, he's kind of got that intellectual, but kind of, I don't know, what's that look?
Professorial
Look.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I was thinking when we were watching this band, and I do think Mouseatouille are going to go on to great things, but I thought they've nailed one of the most difficult things to nail as a band, which is all great bands should be named as a stoned joke that you get really sick of as the band progresses. Like, it's very hard to name a band in a way that humors you so acutely at the time, but also sets you up for a lifetime of having to contend with naming your band Mouseatouille.
I don't mind Mouseatouille, the name. I like it because it's like the Mouseketeers. Is that what it's referencing?
I think it's more like Ratatouille. Mouseatouille.
Yeah. Also adorable. A Mouseatouille. I mean, I did have a hard time with I thought to say Mouseatouille, but Mouseatouille maybe. But I did a deep dive on Matthew Rhys and Carrie Russell, who I love, and they're just another fabulous couple like ourselves, I guess, is why I like them. And just, I think everybody likes them as a couple who knows who they are as a couple. But she was in the Mouseketeers, I think.
Oh, really?
And I don't know, I'm fascinated with stars that started out as child actors in a kind of corny sense, and then I feel like her rebranding, the way that like Miley Cyrus had to rebrand or felt like she had to, and people go in these kind of extreme directions. And Carrie Russell famously like cut her hair during Felicity. And people flipped the fuck out, which was crazy. But yeah, it's interesting, and she's so stylish and I don't know, I just like to see people who start out in a corny way and become just like really incredible.
Right. I mean, Ryan Gosling is like the god of that arc, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're cute. I ship them and they're very adorable. Have you ever done any bold moves to reinvent yourself? I think now you're doing the opposite. For once, you're sort of trying to do the other way of just being kind of like, not normal, but
no, I know. We were thrift store shopping and you brought something out for me. I was like, you know
crazy.
What? It's a little wacky for my current incarnation.
I love it. I know you're like, I'm going to have a suit made maybe. And the suits you've had made over the years, like a gold suit because you heard once, Burt Bacharach? No.
My God, I've forgotten his name. Sid Barrett.
Sid Barrett said, never wear a gold suit as a performer. And you were like...
Every day. Never wear one every day.
Oh, every day.
It's bad sign for mental health if someone's wearing a gold suit every day.
Well, smelly and weird.
True.
Every day. But you were like, cut to make a gold suit.
It's interesting because I think...
And you got married in it.
Yeah, I did. It's interesting because with being a performer, especially in the early parts of your career, you do really get rewarded for being kooky and outlandish and drawing attention. And as you get older, there's something about a little more quiet dignity, you know? It's like, it just feels appropriate. It feels like, how much attention do you need to be 3 or 4 decades into your career and needing to walk onto a red carpet and be the most annoying person there, you know?
I know. We were doing our kids looking for glasses. We were doing like, she really, boy, oh boy, does research. We both, and you probably went to 10. No, I'm exaggerating.
No, we actually did. We went to 10 glasses stores. Yeah, over 3 days. Yeah, we went to a few each day.
Luckily, King Street is nearby a street which has a lot of optometrist stores, is that what they're called? And so we were looking at those colored glasses, like the bright red and the bright blue, and I was thinking that's very like when people get older, they kind of want to get kooky and stand out.
Sure.
And I was even thinking, I used to have bright yellow Vans, and I was like, maybe I'll buy some. And then I'm also thinking, do I need to go kooky older lady? I don't know if I need to do kooky older lady, but you have a traditional side. You took your condom off the night of our wedding.
What are you talking about? I took my condom off the night of
I mean, because you're kind of traditional and you wanted to wait until our wedding night to.
Okay. I wanted to, we were getting married, so I thought, why not wait to have a baby? But the concept of that I took my condom off you realize, you understand with protection, it's not permanent, it's not a diaphragm. It wasn't permanently attached to me. I didn't put it on from our wedding night.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that is so funny.
I like the idea that, like, yeah, you just have a condom attached to you for like the beginning
you're
of
like,
dating, and then one day you're like,
"Tonight's the night,
I'm peeling
baby.
it off.
We're trying for a baby. I'm gonna take the condom off."
Yeah.
Oh right. Or what if you're just like, I'm gonna poke some holes in the condom and
Yeah.
see what happens?
No,
Okay.
no, yeah.
that's
So that was
hilarious.
yes, but yes, I am traditional in a sense. I feel like with traditions, I'm not going to shape my whole life around them. But if it's a matter of waiting a month or two for the, in wedlock or not in wedlock type thing, it's like, why not? Why not?
And
go?
there's enough bastards in the family. Oh my God, that is hilarious. You took your condom off the night of our wedding.
I like there's enough bastards in the family.
But I do love that our friend
How many bastards is enough bastards though?
There's only two. I think there's only two, me and Dano, and
Do you still carry the weight of that stigma of feeling like a bastard child?
well, there's a story from my memoir, my wonderful memoir that people are still reading and loving, and I'm so happy that it's just keeps going with a book. Like they just keep people keep DMing all the time, which is so makes me so happy. But there's a part where I was a little kid. There was a show called The Bastard, a miniseries, one of those silly, it was like swashbuckling era miniseries about someone who was a bastard. And people were watching it. And it was probably in the 1977, 78. And I was a little kid on the schoolyard. And we were talking about it, like water cooler banter on the school ground about, have you seen The Bastard? And then I said, I'm a bastard. And this little girl who was probably Catholic or Christian looked surprised. And she said, I have to ask my mom if I can play with you still.
Well, it is contagious. Bastardship.
Yeah. And I was just like, what a square. So that was my defense, just labeling her right back.
Sold. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but Daphne walked in while we were
Okay.
That was funny. She didn't really walk in, but we were on a.
There were no locks on the door.
She didn't see it. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I accidentally walked in on her once. Why is that embarrassing?
I don't know. I just got embarrassed.
Not really. She just
Yeah.
like she literally was just like knocked on the
Yeah.
But it wasn't crazy or anything.
No, absolutely. I know. I just got shy for a moment.
I think it's sweet. It's like
It's as I'm getting into my elder statesman era, I am dressing less wacky and I blush occasionally. I'm sorry.
So the suit you want made what?
Oh,
what
I
do you-
don't know. I'm just
Okay,
enjoying.
but you don't want. I was like maybe a velvet Yves Saint Laurent like 70s cut or whatever, and you were like, I want like just a good simple suit.
Yeah, I just feel like there's something about
Simplicity.
yeah, simplicity, versatility, being able to, I don't know, whatever. It's a little boring for people. But I just feel like there's something about wearing a nice fitting suit as a responsible member of society, as a man, that
And
feels
you're
like
fit. You're fit as Fuck.
Yeah.
I conversely, have you noticed how often I've been using the word conversely?
No, is that an intentional choice?
I don't know. I just have been I've been noticing.
Okay.
But I love there's a Chloe Sevigny picture. She's in a faux fur coat and there's a giant baby blue bow on the front. So it's a brown coat with a blue big giant bow. I love bows. You know me.
You do love bows. Anytime anything comes with a ribbon in a house, it's always save the ribbon for mum. Mum wants the ribbon.
I'll put it in my hair.
Yeah.
I'll put it around my neck. I'll put it on the little skirt.
Yeah.
So like you, I want to be elegant. I want to have, like I do love like brooches and bows and lace and like things that are decorative like that, which aren't kooky. They're more just, I don't know. I like to, razzle dazzle. But
That's different. You got the old Hollywood glamour. You can, do a lot with that.
put my hat back on and be proud.
Put your hat back on and be proud. We talked about it for people that aren't on our mailing list, you should join up via Substack. It's free. We did our pick of the week this week was a book by Kelly, who used to be in Camp Cope, who wrote this book called It's Not For You, about female musicians in Australia. And I so enjoyed the book. There was a lot of food for thought. I've obviously always loved female musicians, and I was trying to think about why, and I think some of it was just it more honestly, like the way women wrote songs when I was growing up versus the way men wrote songs, the women's songs like more accurately reflected the dialogue I was actually hearing in my household with sisters and stuff. Like it was more complex in a way, whereas guys' songs in the 80s were all about like partying, basically. But I really loved this book, and it really, I don't know, it was kind of like interesting. How do I explain this? Like the fight that a lot of female artists have had in the face of a patriarchal culture, it's not just a journey for women. You know what I mean? Like, you know how they say that patriarchy oppresses men as well as women? Like, it just really made me think about how hard I've had to fight and also how many times I've given up fighting for my, like, sensitivity in a way. I don't know. This was really...
You haven't fought for your right to party.
That you don't need to fight for. That you've got the right to party. But I don't know, how do you feel about that? Like as a sensitive person, a sensitive artist in a capitalist world, in an industry as cutthroat as Hollywood, like how have you been able to protect your sensitivity?
Just leaning into my spacey dingbat kind of, it's a way to kind of almost disappear and be like ether. That was my personality. So I kind of would sort of disappear in a room and just be this like spaced out kind of girl. But the male gaze has been interesting. I was talking to my kid about Ariana Grande, and she was just the difference in the fascination with being thin and how it's changed, and also about face work being the norm and how what people have leaned into to be themselves. And how is this tying in? It's tying in because it's interesting. I didn't ever dress kind of overtly sexy. And I think that, there is an innate, although I fortunately have not uncovered any really traumatic experiences with men sexually or whatever, fortunately, enough so that I kind of would hide behind certain things. So that's one way to deal, whether it's baggy clothes or...
Oh, right. Like a woman's sexuality is a form of sensitivity that needs protection to some degree in our society.
And my poetry, I do think women... this sort of ties into another patriarchal conversation you had with our friend Safi, but tying into just believing your creativity is worth something in the world.
Yeah, that was, me and Safi were texting about the idea of like masterworks and how in our culture, it's almost like the way kings want monuments or architects want the tallest building. Artists are meant to make these masterworks, these definitive statements on creativity. And how in a way, there's something about that is a little bit limiting because it turns the entire creative process into something that is judged on its output and its success and dismisses the experience of the making. And I think it's not for you in the book. I was so aware of how Kelly was really rooted in the experience of being in Camp Cope, and she wanted to know about the experience of all these women. She wasn't asking them like, how did it feel to have a #1 hit? Or what did you do with money? She wanted to know about the feeling they had in their creativity. And yeah, Safi was saying that she thinks the whole masterwork construct is essentially just basically marketing. It's branding, it's brand alignment with timing and everything. And I do think there is a truth to that. Like I think if you look at the new Phoebe Bridgers album, she's absolutely hit a zeitgeist moment and she's incredibly good with timing. And she waited 4 years until the timing was actually right and refreshing. That's not to say it's not a beautiful record. It is a beautiful record, but timing is a massive part of having cultural impact.
I had a fight with my teenager because I picked her up she was seeing a play with her grandmother, and we had a fight and the Phoebe Bridgers album was on, and she said, I just want to listen to this album. I've been waiting for this album. And so I was like, I'm sorry. And then, the like kind of how much it meant to her to listen to it and escape in it and have all of those feelings in it and gaze out the window and, let your imagination go with this album, and how much it meant to her because she had waited, I suppose.
Some of the artists of the last decade or so, Phoebe Bridgers, Lana Del Rey, Charlie XCX, these guys started before, but really, hit their moments in the last decade, are just masters of timing and messaging, I think. It's really, when you think about how vast the internet is and how complex all the interaction between the niche little spots on the internet are, messaging and creating something that can actually seem cohesive and can cut through and can create a moment, it's so complex and difficult to do, and it's very, very impressive.
But we were also saying that don't feel the pressure for the masterwork.
No. Well, that's right. Well, I also think that there's a lot of artists who, like if you think about a band like Fugazi, okay, sure, The Waiting Room, maybe you'd say that's a masterwork, a song or an album or something, but in general, what Fugazi are remembered for are the way they did their career. That wasn't a masterwork moment. It was about the integrity and the spirit with which every action was injected with. Similarly with the Grateful Dead, there's something about, it's important to recognize that sometimes artists' contribution are not in the form of masterwork, but in the form of a revelation of process.
Yeah, and I also just love all the different stages, like Aftermath, Rolling Stones album versus other Stones albums. Like they just have such a vibe, and you, I'm a huge fan of yours, but all of your different albums that are from different times, and for me personally, because I actually was there for the different times, so I kind of remember you. Like there's a song Indian Mina, and it reminds me of when we were in Australia before I even knew Australia, and you literally found this bird and then wrote a song about it, relating it to other things. But it's so great that albums have, obviously the Beatles, like completely different almost genres, and they speak to the time period and what the people were going through. And thank God it's not just, I don't know, all the same or like, well, I don't know.
No, this exactly is my primary argument against AI music, that the entire unfolding of creativity is what makes it interesting, not just the final product. And the hours of craft, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of craft that artists learn, whether you like what they do or not, it's like having someone cook you a delicious meal as opposed to getting Uber Eats or something. Johanna Samuels, friend of the pod, has put out a record this week called Sorry Kid, and she is such a student of songwriting and like 70s style production that when you listen to the record, what you're really hearing and what you're really honoring is her reverence for the craft of songwriting and making records. And I don't know, for me, it's funny, like I deeply love music, but almost more than that, I love the process of the unfolding of music.
Sure, and this story, like why we love Joker Man podcast, which goes through the Icons' odd, weirder albums and strange, awkward periods, and they tell the story around it, and that it's just so fascinating. Yeah, just the life around songs is really interesting.
And isn't it funny as you get older and I used to be just so in awe of anything that could get made. I remember, that classic Pete Holmes joke about he liked every movie until he had sex. Then he was like, I don't know about the cinematography on this one. But it's interesting. We were watching also friend of the pod, Whitmer Thomas. He has a new special out on HBO Max. It's really good, called Terminal Crew of Dudes. And we had a great conversation last night about what worked about his first one. Was it called The Golden One or Golden Child? Golden One, I think.
Yeah.
And how this carried a certain thread forward in terms of him looking at where he came from and his childhood and nostalgia and weaving together comedy and music and memory, and how this is all the craft. The craft is making many things and refining over years and years what actually works best to flatter your vision. You know?
And the pressure of the big opus, some people might use as an excuse not to do anything.
Absolutely. You were telling me something, what were you reading about the Kate Moss this morning?
That there's going to be a documentary about her life.
Wait, so what? So Kate Moss give me a sentence that explains.
Kate Moss is doing a documentary about her life.
I mean, this is juicy.
Yes. I loved Jane Fonda's documentary about her life, which was Chapters. And I imagine Kate Moss's documentary will be very interesting. I have a few memories with Kate Moss.
What would if you were going to, pick parts from your memory for this documentary, what would you share?
We once flew, my brother and I was gaga for Kate Moss in the 90s. We were in the 90s living in New York. I followed my brother there after my separation from my first husband, Adam Horovitz, and I wanted to still be in New York and be near Adam Horovitz, and my brother was in New York, and I was like, I'll just glom onto my brother's life and just go and live in New York. And Kyle MacLachlan was dating not Christy Turlington,
Kyle MacLachlan.
MacLachlan dating...
Yeah, it wasn't it Christy Turlington?
Turlington, yeah. In any case, if I have that wrong, sorry guys, I don't know why I'm blanking. And I remember my brother, we went to like a fashion show, and this is like just when supermodels were blowing up. I mean, it was the second wave of the supermodel thing. And he was like, Kyle's dating a supermodel. And then I saw the what is it called? The something drop?
Light bulb, or the penny drop.
The penny drop for him. And then cut to, he started dating supermodels, my brother. And being
if only things were that easy. You go, people date supermodels. Okay, now I'm going to date supermodels.
Then there was an article, I remember, in the page 6 called Bitch Boys. And it was about the bitch boys, which were the boys who dated the supermodels. And then my brother was in a band called Nancy Boy, and he wrote a song called Bitch Boy. And so Kate Moss at one point was besties with Naomi Campbell, and their nickname was Wagon. They called each other Wagon. I don't know why. So my brother wrote another song with Queen Wagon in it. But so he was chasing Kate Moss, who was sort of into him, sort of not. And we went to MTV Unplugged together. Kate, my brother, what a date.
Okay, you did leave out a very important keyword to the concert you went to there. You just said you
Nirvana.
went to... Yeah.
What did I say?
MTV Unplugged, which it was, but it was Nirvana
Unplugged.
Doing it.
Nirvana MTV Unplugged was the date that probably Kate Moss was like, I will go with you on that date. And that was pretty incredible. Also, I have a funny memory where I didn't really do coke that much, but I'd done it a little bit. And I remember I was in, I don't know, I mean, it might have been Mr. Chow or some restaurant at the time, Florent or whatever. And I was sort of worrying about it because I was really hard on myself about everything. And I was telling Kate, I'm worrying about doing coke. And she was like, you got to be careful with that. And she's telling me, that's what was really funny to me. Like somebody who in the documentary we will see enjoyed drugs at certain points. Allegedly. But it was really funny because even at the time I was like, oh, this is rich.
I had a similar experience where I was in Max Fish. I can't remember what was happening. It was an after party. I remember Beck was there. There was a bunch of people. But Evan Dando and Kate Moss were sitting on the side of the dance floor, and Evan waved me over, and Kate had powdered ecstasy on her hand. And Evan said, you can lick some off. So I licked some off Kate's hand. But I realized I didn't know how much I'd licked. And I just went, oh my gosh, am I going to freak out? And she goes, you're going to want to fuck. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, I had a flight with Kate Moss and Naomi Campbell, and we went to pick up, there was an apartment building that a lot of the models stayed in downtown that was sort of, Shreg, you would know it. It was like, if I knew my names this afternoon, which I'm not having.
Mouseatouille.
Mouseatouille. There was a part of downtown, and there was like a club, kind of like where my dad did the beatnik thing. There was,
Like West Village, Cafe Wa.
maybe no, the beatnik thing recently. Where did Bridget Everett do her shows?
Oh, at Joe's Pub.
I think in that area.
Lafayette, around there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there was this beautiful big giant apartment building that model. So anyway, we came in the morning to pick her up, and she was late, and we literally, it felt like we were for sure going to miss our flight to London. And she and Naomi, not only did we roll up to the airport, but we found a little side room pre 9/11, smoked a little pot. She and Naomi Campbell were on the plane, and they just had like silky eye masks and like it was so glam and so just like laissez-faire and just so fab. So that was another classic.
And you know what's so
memory.
amazing? All of these stories are nothing compared to the actual stories of her biography if this show gets made.
I know.
She has been, involved in such legendary glamour and debauchery.
Oh, yeah.
That we can only imagine.
I know. I love it. And I know, I think about certain celebrities and just the kind of highs and heights. We went to a great little dinner party with our friend Julia Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a woman there. I don't know her name, which is good because I don't want to like say stuff. But it was really funny because it was this little lovely dinner party in LA. And I sat next to a woman, and we were like, for some reason, talking about like, hanging out with Mick Jagger and all these things. And there wasn't anything that impressed her as the high.
Oh, I know who this was. And her dad owned one of the major recording studios in LA. So she grew up around every rock star through the 70s and 80s.
But it was funny because it was beyond rock star. Like then it went to like the billionaire world.
Right,
and
right.
then it went to like the political world. And then it went to the heights. I feel like we went to every top of any human, a king in Africa, like the head of a tech thing, like the president of Oxford or whatever, any room we, for some reason, were talking about, she was like, whatever. Everything was whatever. And there was nothing that made her feel like, meeting, Prince Charles. Nothing was like the height of heights. And it was pretty interesting. I don't know why I was like, I wonder what room. So anyway, I'm just thinking about Kate Moss and the people she's met over the years.
I don't think she's easily rattled.
I don't think she's rattled. And, there are certain things like I guess hanging with Paul McCartney a couple times, like I do believe there's certain people that you're always in your mind, like I am with Paul McCartney.
Yeah, when the night I took my condom off.
Exactly.
You were just like, I'm here.
I'm with a naked penis.
I am been in a deep study prep time, learning covers, learning Georgia Max songs. We're doing this tour coming up around Australia where we're just on stage together the whole time. It's a 2-hour show, no opening band. We might do a little intermission. We're doing just a bunch of each other's songs together and covers. And it's so fun diving into someone else's material this deeply. I haven't gotten to do it in a long time. I did it when I produced Jill Sobule. I got to go into her work. Back to the Bens, I did it with Ben Folds and Ben Queller. But it's such a rare opportunity, and it's something that, like I remember David Bowie wanted to play keyboards for Iggy Pop. Like there's something that artists, especially if you're the kind of artist who is like a front person and sucks up all the attention, getting to lose yourself in someone else's work is so deep and satisfying.
I did that with Naked Angels Theater Company in New York. I just became a little fan. And I ended up there. Finally, they were like, you should be in something, like you're an actor. And I was like, oh, right. But I just like to hang out, like literally almost watch the writers write, watch all the rehearsals, watch the little, one acts they would put up. I just wanted to be immersed in their work. I wasn't even doing their work.
Yeah.
I love when you are rehearsing for something. I love hearing every day you play your songs and do voice, exercise. And it's just, I'm like immediate, like maybe I go upstairs and write, and it's like or paint, and there's like the live music of you playing. We're pretty good, like students in a way. Like this last job I did, I had a monologue, hardly a monologue, but I worked on it for 2 months up until I think I had it. Like I like it as I get older, it just makes me feel so much better.
I'm having this kind of revelation as I'm working, and also because of some of the production projects we've got going on, that like, I think they're a slightly different fork in the road. And I may have just been a fan of music.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like essentially, and I do see that, like, as people get older, often they kind of realize they're just a fan. Like, I know I like to do it too, but I'm almost a fan first and foremost. Like, that's the experience. And I think that's why I like to use this platform to turn people on to work, because that came before writing songs, like sharing music and getting excited and getting other people excited about it. So yeah, it's quite a profound thing for me. So you can buy tickets to those shows me and Georgia are doing. We're going all around Australia, end of September, beginning of October, going to Japan in October, and there's not going to be any more shows, I don't think, till the next year. So yeah, check them out. And any other words of wisdom you want to leave the beautiful babies with?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
We'll talk to you soon, beautiful babies.
See ya.
Together we're weirder together.